We're in Astana, the capital city of the Republic of Kazakhstan. It's the 9th largest country in the world and perhaps the most successful of all of the countries formed in the breakup of the Soviet Union 22 years ago. It's truly a special country, full of history, culture, and very friendly people. This year, Kazakhstan once again is the host country for an international gathering of religious leaders. The official title of the event is the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. Just as Kazakhstan has taken an international leadership role in nuclear non-proliferation, the country is now recognized as a world leader in bringing countries together, searching for understanding and peace. We were invited to participate in the conference, visit houses of worship throughout the capital city of Astana, and speak with leaders involved in the Congress. It was an amazing experience to be with religious leaders from all over the world in the Palace of Independence in Kazakhstan in Central Asia. This is America is brought to you by the U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings. And Ventana Productions, television facilities, editing, and distribution services. In Astana, Kazakhstan, at the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions, I had the opportunity to talk with the chairman of the Agency for Religious Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, good to see you once again. The Agency for Religious Affairs. Tell us a little bit about that.
The
agency was set up the 11th September of year 2001. That was by decree of the president. We're having about 60 specialists in our agency, and we're having also two centers, one on the organizational work, and that is similar to what we're doing with this forum and the Congress, and the other one is on research work, and we are learning and we study carefully all sorts of religious materials, papers. Our key role is to set up decent relations between the government, the state, and the religious confession represented in the country. That's our primary role, because Kazakhstan, as you know, is being a secular state. And 70% of our citizens are Muslims, 25% practicing Christianity of Orthodox direction. And yet, after our establishment, we've developed and this law was passed, which is on religious activity, and it is clearly stated that Kazakhstan is a secular state. So that means that the government is not interfering into the affairs of the religious organization in the country, and it's the other way around, that they're not also interfering in the work of the government.
The idea of bringing religions together in Kazakhstan from all over the world, in the conference now, the Congress that we're attending, what is the idea behind bringing all these people here?
After the 11th September of year 2001, when there was this terrible terror in New York, the world has sort of divided into two camps, you know, and many of the people and some of the world community members began talking about the civilization development in a new form. People thought that it was right the point when the collision between civilization happened. And right after these terrors in 11th September 2001, we were visited by the Pope Paul, and the visit was paid to Astana in Kazakhstan. Then we were able to hold a congress which was participated by representatives from the United States and some of the Asian countries. And the conference was called back then the Conference of Peace and Concord. Actually, these events, they were implying and they were enabling to our president for this decision to set up such a platform and to convene the representatives, the leaders of the world and traditional religions.
Let me ask a last question. If you put all these religions side by side, do they have one common message?
The message will be simple, that religion has no violence. No religion is promoting, propagating violence, extremism or terrorism. Every religion is inviting a human to such values as love, progress and mutual understanding.
At the Congress, I sat down with some of the honored guests to get their thoughts on the state of the world today and the responsibility of religions in bringing harmony to our chaotic world.
The importance of the Congress is to emphasize the need for dialogue. Dialogue of civilizations, dialogue of religions. We have still so many conflicts in the world, and in my view, it's not, fortunately not only my view, conflicts cannot be solved by military means, by violence. Conflicts can only be solved by dialogue. And here religions in particular can play a very important role. The world religions are a unique pool of wisdom. All the main religions have the same common values, and we have to use that. I don't believe in the clash of civilizations. On the contrary, civilizations are challenged together to find common solutions. We are talking about globalization. We need globalization for peace and for consent and for accord.
When God looks down at the world, what do you think he sees?
Oh, that's a very difficult, very philosophical question.
It is.
I don't think he is really happy with us at the moment. But on the other hand, there is progress. And you can find examples, good examples, where dialogue is leading to. I was just talking with people about the Armenian-Azerbaijani conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I gave myself lectures in both countries at the University of Yerevan and of Baku. Yeah? And I was coming from Strasbourg. At that time I was Secretary General of the Council of Europe. And I said, I'm living in a city which was the reason for bloody fights, bloody wars, which costs millions of deaths of young people, French young people, German young people. And nowadays I can cross the bridge without showing a passport. Yeah? So there is progress, and there is reason for optimism. Yeah? And we have just to continue that way. People too often look to the differences and not to what would unite us. And I think at the end, people have all the same concerns. Yeah, they want to grow up their children in peace and stability, and wish prosperity for their children, want that their children have a better future as they self had before. So why conflicts? Why not to unite for the same objectives? It was a very good initiative of the President of Kazakhstan to bring the religious leaders together, yeah? And so to encourage them to speak out, yeah?
Yeah.
To speak out against injustice, to speak out against the conflicts, to speak out against the abuse of religion. I wish we would have more deeds than words.
Yeah.
And one of the problems, I'm quite open, one of the problems of conferences like that, we are always preaching to the already converted.
Preaching to the choir, right?
Yeah. So we have to go out and find those who really need the dialogue, yeah, and to convince them. Go out, speak out, show the good examples where dialogue is helping for a better future. Yeah? It's a cumbersome way, I know that. Yeah? But as I demonstrated the example of the French French-German reconciliation. It's not only the French-German reconciliation, it's also the Austrian-Italian, the German-Polish, the German-Russian reconciliation. So it's possible. Yeah? So to speak with the words of Obama, yes, we can.
Yes, we can. So there is hope, huh?
There is hope, absolutely.
Delegates from India represented Hinduism, practiced by 80% of the population of 1.2 billion people, and by Islam, practiced by 15% of the country.
So basically, if we go to the universal approach of Islam, it should be brotherhood. Brotherhood among the whole humanity, among the whole mankind, which Islam teaches for any Muslim, and which is unfortunately lacking, that people are not giving importance to this important factor of Islam, that brotherhood at any cost has to be maintained in the society and in the community, anywhere. God's perspective is peace, and if you believe in God, you have to believe in peace. So peace is our motto basically. Those kinds of people who are going wrong way, wrong path, they are not basically close to Islam, Islamic teachings. Yeah. They are motivated by different people who are not faithful to their community and their country, and wrongly motivated in wrong path. Otherwise, as far as Islam is concerned, they should be very quiet, very calm, very brotherly, peaceful and humble to each other, and they have to respect others also. Islam teaches that you don't abuse others, don't abuse their gods, otherwise they will abuse you and your gods. So one has to understand what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. And because of worldly gains and maybe politically gains, people are misguided and they are misused in the name of religion, but religion is not at all responsible for that. So one has to understand what Islam teaches, and if some Muslim is doing wrong, it doesn't mean that Islam is teaching him to do wrong things. Knowledge along with practice is very important. So people in Muslims particularly, majority of the people are not well educated. Yes. And they do not want to get proper education, because but Islamic teaching is that education is very important, and there is a prophet saying that to acquire knowledge is compulsory upon each and every male and female. But majority of the people in India particularly, because people are thinking that if they are getting worldly education, they will not get jobs and services and employment. So education should not be related to jobs only. Education should be related to personality development. And moral values and human values and social values. So education has a wide role in one's life. I am coming here since about 8 years. I had attended the conference in 2006, 2009, 2012, and inshallah in 2015 also. So I have visited about more than 7-8 times to Kazakhstan, and I have attended secretariat meetings also along with 3 conferences. So this conference has given a very good motivation to the leaders coming from different countries, from different religions, to get a good example, to do something in their respective countries, in their areas, and it has given a very good impact on the leaders to meet each other, to understand each other, and to try to maintain peace everywhere, because unfortunately peace is disturbed and many countries are suffering, people are suffering due to certain reasons, and one person is responsible and 100 persons are suffering. So this conference is helping to at least give message to their countries, to their communities, to understand what religion teaches, because every religion is teaching for maintaining peace, harmony, brotherhood and honesty with the society, which is very important.
Well, I think it's very interesting to see on a political platform such as His Excellency the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. He's trying to create a platform in which he brings together guidance from what he sees from interfaith discussion and dialogue, trying to involve religion or spirituality as a factor in which he tries to bring about future discourse. I think that's very interesting, and I think it's unique. There are very interesting ideas and truths in religion, whether it is dharma or truth or compassion or making a difference. The idea that I was trying to bring is it's not enough to speak to those who already follow you or agree with you, but how do you try and reach out to those who don't? And the issue is not that you try to convert them into a particular religious denomination, but the idea is how do you get everybody to live according to those common ideals of truth, of compassion, of addressing inequality, how to make a better world. That was what I wanted to try and say, that it has to go beyond dialogue, it has to go into action.
When you look at the world, what do you see?
Well, we see a continuation of inequality, sometimes an increase in inequality. We continue to see violence, we continue to see exploitation. How do we bring thoughts that are expressed in our scriptures, diverse as they may be, but common as they may be, into common practice, so that we not only make peace, but we even keep the peace.
Peace is a big word, isn't it?
That's right.
And the world is in chaos right now, huh?
Well, peace needs to be at various levels. We in Hinduism have Shanti as a word for peace, and we often say it at 3 levels, so 3 times. Peace has to be, you have to be at peace with yourself, you have to be at peace in the world around you, and you have to have a sort of cosmic peace. And so you would want to inculcate a sense of peace at all levels. If you're not at peace with yourself, you won't be at peace with the world.
Yes. Why do you think so many people are not at peace with themselves?
Oh, I think that's a big question. There is a in the Mahabharata, there is a saying which says, who is the person who has limitless wealth? And Yudhishthir, the character in the Mahabharata, answers that the person who is at peace in times of good or bad, or in terms of happiness or sadness, that is the person who has limitless wealth. So I think this is a question of inculcation, of discipline. You have to be able to train your mind to be at peace. I don't think one is naturally at peace. I think it's a question of inculcating a habit of keeping a still mind.
Still mind, hard to do, huh?
It is very hard to do. The mind would love to dance and say, I want that, I want this, I want to...
Monkey mind, huh?
Monkey mind. How do you just keep it still? Calm. And that's inculcation. I don't think it just happens.
You have to practice it.
You have to practice it.
The Congress, an all-day event, featured all belief systems, including the Zoroastrian faith, once followed by millions of people, now practiced by 250,000 worldwide.
Some of the religious leaders or some of the people who are doing bad actions, like the ones what's happened in Kenya, Nairobi, what you saw, and a few days ago. So what it requires that people of the same faith has to speak out that this is a bad action. Islam does not believe in it, although they are followers of Islam, and it should be spoken loud and clear. And it should not be just spoken loud and clear, because as I said, good words is not enough. Good actions is necessary too.
Do you think the leaders of Islam are speaking out?
There are quite a lot of them are speaking out. It requires more and more spontaneity. What happened in Wisconsin about almost a year ago, when people walked into the Sikh temple, a gunman walked into the Sikh temple and killed a few people there. The Christian faith leaders spoke out right away, and other faith leaders spoke out to be in harmony with them. So it is taking place. It's just not speaking out is enough, but I think the world should know, the other parts of the world, that people, religious faith leaders, are speaking out. It should be given more promotion in the media.
What's the importance of the conference here, the Congress, the bringing together of the different religious leaders?
Well, this is one very good example of bringing the faith leaders together here. by the work which has been done of bringing peace and unity within the human community. How do we bring about more agreements of allowing people to practice faith in the various countries? Diversity of faiths, pluralism is taking place in many of the countries now. However, there are instances of that's not happening in other parts, and faith leaders are coming out to speak about that it's not applicable only to one country, it's applicable to all the countries. Mm-hmm. The minorities who are there in Coptic Christians in Egypt, they are finding themselves difficult after hundreds of years, thousands of years of being there. So people from the Muslim Brotherhood should be taking actions, speaking about it. People from the Islam should be speaking out and talk about it and say it is wrong. And there are many instances of people of Islamic faith have gone to take the people out from the burning Christian churches, but they are not being given exposure in the media.
Listen very hard to this delegate from Thailand who explains the world's conflicts in relation to the why of suffering in very few words.
Why is there so much suffering?
If we hungry, also maybe some situation like this, other people also hungry and come or followed by suffer. After suffer, maybe anger, and then maybe fighting. After with the fighting, maybe with war between two countries and two people, two family, and two village, two country, and two how to say about two or three or maybe more traditional. Between tradition, fighting, then suffer more.
Many belief systems, one God. In Islam, Allah, a simple and profound thought from Afghanistan.
I think this conference is very important because it belongs to religions. Religions useful believe anyone from people and idea. When we try to organize this idea about international peace and other problems, it is a very good, a very useful, inshallah, result for all people, all world.
Is there a message that you see coming out of this particular conference?
This conference message to all the people, all the world, religion scholar, religion leadership, and political leadership to think about anything is useful for human body.
For everyone?
Yeah, for everyone in the world.
If you put Islam, Christianity,
Christian, yes, because
Hinduism,
any religion, like Islam, Judaism, Christian, Hinduism, Buddhism, you try to a good useful message to anyone to worship of Allah. This is a message Allah alone, واحد. this message for all the human body, because all people belongs to one mother and one father, Adam and Hawa, because all the people belongs to a family.
When Allah looks down,
Yes,
what does Allah see?
Allah love His people,
His family.
His family. Yes.
For information about my new book, The Chance of a Lifetime, and online video for all This Is America programs, visit our website, thisisamerica.net. And now you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. This Is America is brought to you by the U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings. And Ventana Productions, television facilities, editing, and distribution services.